Going live, live. Well, good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock here. It's CET, Central European Time. And I'm Georgia. And I'm a speaker and a writer and a rebel. And yes, we're going live, talking about intros and outros, openings and finishings, how to create sensational openings and stunning endings. Are you ready for this? Let's get ready. Let's jump on board and get excited about this, yeah? Because I've just come back from TEDx in Brighton and I saw some fantastic speakers. Really, there was a lot of very good speakers out there. 14 speakers altogether. And so I was really observing and noticing what was working, what wasn't working, giving them good evaluations. I think that's really important, to be able to evaluate all the good stuff and find out what you can take home with you. What are the messages? What are the things that you can learn? What are the goodies you can put in your bag and that inspire you, that motivate you, that make you want to go out there and do something yourself? Right? So that's what I found very fascinating with seeing so many speakers up there. And hey, we got a thumb up. Now, who would that be? So yeah, it was really good. But the only thing about that made me think twice was that there were 10 boys and only 4 women speaking. That sounds good. So next year, it's going to be 10 women and 4 men. What do you say to that? Ladies, we're going to rock the boat next year, I guarantee it. So how do we make impressions? How can we engage when we're on a Facebook Live, when we're doing videos, when we're standing up on a stage? How can we really impress our audience with some fantastic opening line to get them really involved? And then how can we end? How can we go out with a bang? How can we show them that this was really worth listening to because there's something of value coming up now? What do you think? What could we do about that? These are the questions that have been going around my mind. And so if you're out there and if you're listening now, secretly, not looking, then show us some hearts, thumbs, share and care, get involved, make some comments, ask some questions. And if you are catching this later, fantastic, do join in. It's all about sharing and caring, the good stuff, letting each other know the tips and tricks that we've learned while we've been speaking online or on stage. And so let's get tucked into this conversation then. This is the Thursday special. Welcome on board. Intros and outros. So one of the things that I notice, you know, that a good speech is like a sandwich. And it has an inviting and enticing top layer that's very tempting and inviting for you. And underneath, it has this solid bottom, a solid, tasty bottom. And in between is the filling, the message, the words that you want to say, the things that resound, your content, all the things that you want. So that's the middle section. But the beginning, excuse me, but the beginning and the middle and the end is how you would describe a speech, like a sandwich. So what holds you in the beginning? What are the hook lines? What are the things that attract you, can help you engage and connect with your audience? What are those little tips and tricks that you can take away and use for your next talk, your next live? How can you tempt your audience to stay with you, to be involved with you, to give you to come and buy your book after the show, sign up to your Facebook page. Hey, Lucinda, all the way down in the south there, but on the same time zone. I was just telling about the TEDx talk and what I learned and what I observed. And so, yeah, the ending of your speech is like the last bite of the sandwich, you know, the bit that you savor because it was so good and you want to take that away with you. You want it to be memorable. You want it to hold in your mind for a week, for a month, forever. Maybe it's going to be a quote or a sentence or a question that you just remember for so long because that ending was so good. So what happens when you don't get those fabulous beginnings and endings? And the content is, yeah, you've managed to stick through it. If you're on a live, you might even click off. That's the thing. So, you know, when a speech starts slow, or when it's full of excuses, or the person is repeating something again and again, or there's no real content, then what do you do? How can the audience be attracted to this when this happens, you know? And I'm not talking about nerves or when you stumble, because listen, I get nervous. If you're human, you get nervous, you know? You get butterflies and then you learn to let them butterflies free. But somebody who's just stumbling and making excuses and umming and ahhing and going over the same thing again because they haven't found a way to connect with their audience. It's human to be nervous. It's actually, the audience will appreciate it if they see that you're genuinely nervous. But if you're umming and ahhing and waffling is a big one. A lot of people waffling, repeating, waiting until 10 people come on the stage or are in the audience or come onto the live. No, you just get on with it. You get in there with your topic because you are there to share your words. And if they miss it, they'll catch up somewhere later if they're really interested, if those hook lines are good. Hey, Lucinda, nice to see you. Video frozen. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you're back. So I have to tell you, what you should not do is what I did. So don't do what I do. And I remember in the performance poetry scene, some years ago it was, and I had a fantastic hostess who was giving me a really good introduction, and she was really bigging me up and praising me and making me feel very good. So when I actually went on stage, I started to repeat all the things that she said. And it wasn't nerves, it was just inexperience. And it was boring to the audience. I'm sure I even heard somebody go boo, because I'd been given all this praise and all I was doing was just repeating. It was terrible, I was so embarrassed. I'll never do that again. I learned the hard way. So don't do what I do, or don't do what I did. Because, you know, have you done anything like this? Have you had a really good introduction and then you've just gone and spoilt it by repeating all the silly things and all that nonsense? Does that happen? Has that happened to you? Don't do what I do, that's all I can say. And you know, we've seen so many good speakers, so many great TEDx talks, so many wonderful confident speakers out there that really impress us. The pressure's on. You know, it's not an easy job to go out there and, you know, impress your audience, and it's tough. And so we've got a lot of competition out there. We've got a lot of experienced people, a lot of people who've been in TV and radio, and they know how to present themselves, and they've had a lot of training. And so it's difficult when we are up against very professional people. But we have to go for it, don't we? Because otherwise, we're just copying and imitating and trying too hard. I think that's something that, you know, audiences are knowledgeable and unpredictable. And, you know, if you try to trick them, they'll soon see through it. They're very clever audiences today. They know a lot. They've seen a lot. And if you're doing lives, it's, you know, people will click off. They'll just switch on and switch over. There's something else going on. There's somebody else is speaking. So you have to come up with those hook lines and hold lines to really grab people. Once you're in, once you got them, you get on with your content. So don't do what I did. Repeat things. Yeah, you're back. That's good. Oh, thank you so much, Lucinda. That's very, very kind of you. So, you know, when people do Facebook Lives, one of the things that they do too often is all this umming and ahhing and waiting and hanging around and, you know, telling us about where they were and why they're late and who they were with and what they did. It's just, it's not relevant. And if it's not relevant to your topic, you shouldn't do it, you know, because it does switch people off. And when the competition's high, the pressure is on, you don't want to be, what's the word? Isolating, no. Putting off, I can't think of the word. Yeah, isolating your audience, yeah. So, yeah, and another boo-boo that I did was I had a poetry performance event, and I was quite new to it though. Lack of experience, if you like. Lack of experience. No, I don't like excuses. Puts me off, exactly. So there I was on stage, and what did I do? I started explaining the poem before I did it. You know, explaining it before I performed. It was just so stupid thing to do because the audience were bored. They don't want me to explain it. They want to hear it. They want me to see me perform it. They don't want to hear all the waffle behind it. So don't do what I did. And, you know, the problem is that, I'm getting all my notes mixed up here. The problem is that, you know, we become irritated when somebody starts to explain and, hey, yes, taking notes, Wendy. Oh, it was great to meet you last, was it the weekend? It was at the weekend, yeah, that was great. So I'm doing it now. Oh, it's a terrible habit, especially English people do that. In Spanish, they actually say a word, pues, which sounds much nicer somehow. So, you know, when people start making excuses why they can't be on time or what they've been doing because they're just waiting for more and more people to come on, or they want this big audience, or they want to hear lots of praise and see 1,000 hearts flowing before they can actually let go and reveal their message. No, you get on with it. You just get on with your message. You've got a message, speak it, say it. Don't have to wait for anybody because people will either pick up on it later or they missed out. Well, they've missed out then, haven't they? So, you know, we are human beings. We can make mistakes. I'm not saying that, you know, you've only got one chance and there's no going back. No, we can make mistakes, but we learn from them. So the next time that we get up and do a live, we think, okay, let me be a bit more prepared, because it is also about being prepared. You know, practice till you're proud. Get it so that you feel good. You don't have to be perfect, none of that. But you have to feel confident and good about your material. And if you like notes, I like notes because I like writing. Yeah, I got my notes, right? I'm going to refer to them. You can do that on the live. When you're on stage, you have to remember your lines or be really good at improvising or just know your topic so well that you feel comfortable. Yeah, that's right. You feel comfortable to, you know, and you rely on your own knowledge. You trust yourself that that topic that you're speaking about, that message that you've got, it's coming from your heart. So you don't really have to learn it. I come from a background where I like to learn those things because my writing's good. So what do you say? Anybody got any questions out there about what it's like to do lives and getting your hook lines, your hold lines, your tempting lines, getting that sandwich, you know, your sandwich speech? Any questions? From heart, very important. Yes. Well, you're good at that, Lucinda. You know, I've seen now you speaking a few times and you've got that fiery passion, and so you go for it. You speak from the heart. And I think that audiences pick up on that. And when they see that passion, you know, They don't care about the nervousness. They don't really care about you repeated yourself, because they feel that passion and that energy, and that's what attracts them. That's what makes them feel, yeah, I'm onto something good here. So, I wrote a blog this week about those intros and outros, because I was very much watching that at the TEDx, with all the speakers that went on and how they got into their speech. Did they come up with a line that made me go, sit up? Did they end with something that made me think, wow, I've got to follow this person. This was really good. That message meant something to me. So I thought to myself that, well, this is it, timely. Because, you do see speakers that just don't hold your attention. So what are we going to do about it? So in the blog, and I like the very simple, straightforward style. So in the blog, I come up with 5 simple, snappy steps to help you with introductions. And number 1, start with a smile. It gives energy, Put on your lipstick and the microphone, my favorite tools. Put on your lipstick or your favorite hat, or whatever it is that you like that makes you feel confident and good. Yes, let's see. I think the TEDx, another whole story, the whole structure, and no notes. You'll do that easy, Lucinda. I got confidence in you. Practice till you're perfect. Practice till you're proud. So, if you start with smile, with energy, with good energy, and with pleasure, it's infectious. People pick up on it, and it shows. They like that positive vibe. It's uplifting. People will connect with you. Number 2, get to the point. Slip into your topic with energy. Say something shocking, something brilliant, something hot. Paint a picture with words. People like that. Most of us are visual. They get on with a visual image really well. So paint that picture, that message that you've got, that image that you have. 3, open with a thought-provoking question. A favorite quote of yours or someone else's. We've all got quotes. We've all got great lines. We all know how to. We've all got favorite lines we've carried with us that people like, people enjoy. The lipstick again. Yes, you should put on a little lipstick, especially on stage, because it brightens. If you're on a big stage, you need to emphasize your own looks. It's not necessary for the beauty thing. And, it just brings out color in your face as well. There's a practical reason for it. To recognize the essence of our message and stick to it can be riveting and inspiring. Absolutely. So, number 4, you've got a hook line. You need a hook line. Like to use it to tempt your listeners. Rather like they have in songs. It's a line or a phrase or even a melody that brings you back into being aware and remembering it. That hook line, that little motif we say in music. Another thing is to start off with something like, imagine this. Tell your audience, imagine this. That captures people. Ooh, people go, ooh, what am I going to be imagining now? And another one is, what if? What if? It's good, it holds people, Make sure you got something good to follow it, that sandwich thing, nice tasty sandwich. So number 5, my pet favorite one. You say that? Pet favorite? My favorite one. No apologies about being late, having a bad hair day, missing the train, or where you were last night, unless it's totally and absolutely relevant to your topic. What do you think? I know some people like to do a little friendly intro. How does one remember the structure of a talk on stage? Oh, we'll do that one, all about memory and, well, there's different ways nowadays. Mind mapping as well as just memorizing. Lots of learning, lots of repetition. Endings. How can you go out with a bang? How can you leave the essence of your message, the creme de la creme of your message with your audience? What can you say that they will take away with you? You know, like you eat a nice piece of chocolate or a delicious meal that you've had and it leaves this wonderful flavor. How can you get your audience to go away with that super, super flavor? So one, they say you should always go out with a bang. So leave the best for last. Leave them with something very special. And number two, if you can't find a relevant quote, grow your own. Create something for yourself. You know, we've all got great lines. I'm sure you can come up with something that you really like. Public talking, you'll be good at it. Number three, circle back to the story. You know, if you started with a story, circle back to it. Let your audience be reminded of how you started with that. And you know, capture the main point from your story, from your speech, and bring it to the end again in different words with a different flavor. Four, lead them with a provocative, profound, or promising phrase, or your call to action if you're allowed. So something provocative, make them think. Even with something, what if, you know, imagine this. If this was you, how would you, and what would you do? You know, even with that questioning, provocative, profound, promising idea, thought. Number five, it always works, a bit of humor, a bit of wit, lighten up. Even if your topic is heavy, you know, there's that dark humor that works. Be good at it though. And be aware of your audience. Not every audience will appreciate certain types of humor. Be sensitive, be aware, show respect with humor. Don't take it for granted that everybody will understand. But, you know, leaving the stage, leaving your live broadcast with some humorous comment, something light, something fun, will definitely engage your audience. Will make them think about you. And you know, one of the things I think I noticed a lot at the TEDx talks was when you finish your speech and the applause starts, appreciate it, enjoy it, hang around for more. You know, I saw at TEDx the compere, the MC, the host, he came onto the stage ready to shake the hand, and already people, the speaker walked off. No, you stand center stage and you take a bow. You lower your head, you bow down with your arms in the air, you do your Wonder Woman pose. You appreciate and feel good. You got through X amount of minutes doing your speech, and now the audience are praising you. You've got to stand there and enjoy it. Look at them, appreciate them. Show your gratitude that they've taken the time to come that night and give you that applause because you were good. They liked what you were doing. Yes, good, something high on a priority to learn. So it is about starting strong, ending strong. Of course, your content has to, you know, the filling of the sandwich has to be good, has to be tasty, has to be, you know, as they say, to make it in a visual way. And so if you've got any questions, I know that you're going to post them. If you'd like to share anything, you want to make any comments, if you're catching us later, I'll get back to you. I really appreciate you being on today and making those comments. Thanks so much, Lucinda. So one of the things I do is that I write a blog every week, which I love doing. And I write on topics about writing, about speaking. And I know there's a lot of people out there who want to write. They've got a book in them. Maybe it's a business book. Maybe it's a how-to book. Maybe it's a bestseller. Maybe it's a memoir or an autobiography or a biography. Writing is still cool, I'm telling you. So if you've got ideas that you want to write down, come to me. Ask for some questions. Ask me some questions. You want some tips and tricks? Or you want to blog about that particular subject? Let me know. And if you like speaking, if you've got a speech that you want to do, if you want to know how to build it up, how to perform it, how to bring out the best in that speech or the best in you, how are you going to stand on that stage and shine with all that fabulous energy and charisma that you have? have a look on my blog, on my website, all the W's and my name.com. All the W's, my name and .com. And you can sign up and get the blog every week. If you sign up now, you get the free ebook, which is 10 essential tips for writing and speaking. Very tasty it is too. It's a free ebook. And you can book in for a 30-minute chat with me if you like, or if you've got something particular that you want to talk about. Or just put a little question down below. I'm happy to relate and share with you, because I think that's the, one of the things that I really love is sharing all this good stuff, isn't it? So my darlings, it is now coming to the end of this Thursday special, the Thursday show. And I look forward to let's see what you're saying. Thank you for the ebook. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Any comments? Let me know what you think. Always lovely to watch your lives. Thank you, Lucinda. That's lovely. And yes, well, I hope you have a lovely evening. And whatever you do, enjoy it. Smile lots. Go to bed with a smile on your face. Amazing, you might even wake up with one. Life is too short to be comfortable, so get up there and enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing you, some of you again next week at the same time for the Thursday special, where we can have a lively conversation or a lively chat about the things that matter to you. So au revoir, arrivederci, and I will see you all soon. Ciao for now.